Hey you guys, welcome to the Rubber Room. It's another Create with Chris episode tonight. I'm going to be sharing with you some of our fall cards that we did last week in class. And I have that light shining right at my glasses again. Let's see if we can get rid of that. There we go, much better. So I wanted to share with you, first of all, our winners from last week. Hi Raquel, thanks for tuning in. Our winner for sure is Mar Bears Creations. Thank you so much for sharing my video. Hi Sherry. And if you will leave me your snail mail address, you can message it to me and I will send you two of the cards we're making tonight. For commenting is Beth Kozak. And Beth, I will see you tomorrow for our team meeting, so I will give you two of the cards we made tonight tomorrow at our meeting. I wanted to let you guys know that you have exactly 1 week left to take advantage of the special, which is buy 3 packs of Designer Series paper and get 1 free. I also, just as a little, hi Margarita, thanks for tuning in. Just as an FYI, I will be doing a DSP and Me class beginning in October. And I will be doing it once a month, and I will share lots and lots and lots of ideas of what to do with your DSP. Stampin' Up! Has the most amazing Designer Series paper, and I absolutely love it. I tend to hoard it just because it's so gorgeous. I hate to cut into it, and so this class is going to help me to use up my Designer Series paper and also my customers. So this is a great chance for you to stock up on some Designer Series paper that I will share with you how to use during classes. So it is buy 3, get 1 free, and ends get 1 free, and it ends at the end of this month. Hi Dabberdo, thanks for tuning in. So tonight I am going to share with you some cards that we made during our Falling into Fall class, which I had last week, and we made 4 cards. I'm going to share with you a couple of them we did some variations on. So this is the first one. And then we did this one. This is the same DSP, only I flipped it over here. And we've also done that with this one. This is with that Apple Builder punch. I love that punch. And then I just flipped my paper over. And that is the other side of that DSP. Sherry was here for the class. It was a fun class. I enjoyed it. And then here is a Halloween card and just a fall pumpkin card made with the Gather Together Suite. So I will turn you down and we will go ahead and get started. So hang on a minute while I flip you down and try and get myself situated. I think that's going to be good right about there. Okay, so if I stay right here, you should be able to see what I have going on, right? Okay, let's start off. Let's start off with this one because it's kind of an easy one where we don't have to emboss or get out the Big Shot for this one. So I am going to go ahead and do it. I think we'll use this side of the paper. Again, because this was a class card, all of your materials are here in this envelope. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper here. Just because I'm going to do some sponging. This is ugly scrap paper. Okay, so let's get our goodies out. They are all in this little container here. I do put, when I have my classes, I put that container right on the table. And it has everything in it that you're going to need for this card. So I'm going to start off just by stamping my words. And I did give them their choice of words. So they do 2 cards of each. So they could stamp Give Thanks or Feel Better Soon. And both of these are in the, hang on one second, and I'll get mine. You guys who watch me regularly know I have to always forget something. I don't know why that is, but I seem to manage it. So these are all from the Gather Together stamp set. Okay. Oop, that's not true. These are from the it's going to be a night. These are from the Harvest Hello stamp set, which has the apple in it and the pumpkin, and you can bundle it with the apple builder or pumpkin builder punch. So these are the words I have out: give thanks or feel better soon. And those were the choices that they had. So, and I totally, oh my goodness, do not even have my punch. This was a good one to start with because apparently I have nothing I need for it. So one momento. I have been cleaning up my stamp room and setting up some new displays, and apparently I got a little overzealous while cleaning and took away some of the things I needed. So this is the punch that coordinates with the Harvest Hello stamp set. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by stamping our words. I'm going to do feel better soon. I'm just going to stamp it right up in the corner. There we go. And I used some Pretty Peacock ink to stamp my words with. Now I'm going to use some black Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp, I'm just going to set that aside for now, all of the pieces that I need. So I will stamp my apple. And this is just a piece of Mary Merlot cardstock. And then I'm going to stamp my little leaf on this Pretty Peacock cardstock. Oops, that's my stem. I don't want to do that. And then my stem is going to go on this piece of soft suede. Okay. And then I'm going to take my Mary Merlot ink and I'm just going to dauber around. Can you see that? I'll move this basket out of the way so it'll be a little bit easier for you to see. I'm just going to use a sponge dauber and put a little bit of color around the edges so you have a little bit of shading on your apple. See how that works? So you get just a little bit of shading, which will give it a little bit of depth. Okay, and then I'm going to take my apple builder punch. I'm going to punch out my apple. And I think I can get it in there fairly easily. So I want to show you that I have it in there, and I'm going to put my hands back here so I don't get that fatty part of my palm in my punch. And then we're going to punch our leaf out. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of line it up inside my punch. And I'm going to do the same thing with my little stem. And you can just put scrap pieces out for these because it just takes in a little tiny bit. But the bigger your scrap pieces, it's going to give you something to hold on to. Okay. So we have all of our pieces here. A lot of my customers don't particularly care for tying bows. So I already have this piece of ribbon, which is the new In Color Pretty Peacock ribbon tied in a little bow. And it comes with like a canvas in the middle of it. So you can use either the canvas side of it or the pretty peacock side of it. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to start off with this white piece of cardstock, and that's going to be the inside of my card. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on there. And then glue that down to the inside. And you can put some words in here, maybe stamp the top of your apple, whatever you want to do on the inside of your card there. And then I'm going to take my crumb cake piece. I'm just going to adhere my Designer Series paper. And this is just to give you a little bit of a taste of our Designer Series paper because it is gorgeous on either side. I'm going to take a little bit of a trim off the top of here. It looks like I got about maybe a 1/16 of an inch there. That's over the edge of my card. So I am just going to trim that up a little bit because I know some of you that would really, really bug. Bug. So I'm going to put my apple up on some dimensionals. So it'll get kind of like a little high rise there. My apple has risen. So take these backings off. Your dimensionals are sticky on both sides, but you do have to peel that little layer off the back of it, or the front of it, whichever you want to call it. And then I'm going to take my adhesive and put it on my leaf and my stem. And I'm going to put my stem down first, and I'm just going to slide it under my apple. Tilt it toward the right, and I'm going to do the same thing with my leaf and tilt it toward the left. And I'm going to take some little glue dots, and these are just glue dots that we get in your Paper Pumpkin kit. Oh my, if you don't have a Paper Pumpkin subscription, you certainly need to get one because they are amazing. Not only because of these little glue dots, but everything you need to complete a project comes in them, and they are such adorable projects. Every month it's something different. This month we have some little bags or boxes for Halloween. I haven't opened mine yet. Last month we had some cards for Thanksgiving, some bags for Thanksgiving and some cards that you could purchase with it. So now I'm just going to adhere the whole thing right down to my card base. See how quick and easy and fun that is? All right, we will move on. I always am such a messy crafter. Let's just move this way over here. Okay, and the next one we'll do, these all I think use the Big Shot, so I don't think it will really matter. This is the Gather Together Suite. So this is the one I wanted to share with you last time. It had nothing to do with the card we were doing. So this is the Gather Together, and it comes in a bundle with the framelets. And there are 7 framelets. I only have one in here right now, but that's because we're going to be using some of the other ones. So what you would do is you would stamp your image and then cut it out with a framelit. So that bundle gives you, let me see if I keep my basket over there, if that might work better. Gives you this kind of a look. So we are going to take out our little envelope with all of our little goodie pieces in it. And I'm going to start with stamping our greeting in Mossy Meadow right on this very vanilla piece of cardstock. And our greeting for this one says, wishing you well. Our photopolymer stamps are absolutely great because you can see right through there. So when I put this down, I know exactly where I'm going to stamp my words. So I'm always sure I get them straight and I get them where I want them on my paper. Okay. Get my little bow out of here. There we go. my bows made just with a little piece of twine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and pull our Big Shot in here. And we're going to use our magnetic plate. And we're going to get a lot of pieces. We're going to do what we call a ride along. And which means we're going to cut a lot of different pieces all at one time. For this one, I have 3 leaves that I'm going to cut out, plus this piece right here, which has my sentiment on it. My platform is magnetic, so I'm going to set my pieces on here. There's my Wishing You Well, which we just stamped. I'm going to put that right on top of it. And I can center it, and because it's magnetic, I know it's going to hold it there. Now these 2 pieces of paper, I'm going to cut with these leaf framelits. And these framelits emboss and cut. So in order to get kind of this 3-dimensional look to it, where it actually looks like the paper is 2 different colors on those leaves, I'm going to spritz my paper first. So I'm just going to take a spray bottle with water in it and spritz this piece of paper. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing with my Mossy Meadow piece of paper. And they're both going to go right on my Big Shot. And then I'm going to take these 3 framelets. And I think I'll do a big and a little Cajun Craze and a kind of big Willow Moss, okay? Then I'm going to put a clear plate on the top of it, and I'm going to run it right through my Big Shot. And that's going to cut and emboss, and it's going to do all of the work for me. So, I have this really nice image. Sometimes I should put a little bit of wax paper in there so that these framelits don't stick so much, but we'll get them out of there. And these papers, because they were wet, when they start to dry, they warp a little bit and kind of buckle in the middle, so they're a little bit easier to get out. So we'll just take those, pop those right out. Put our framelits back there. I don't know about you guys, but my framelits often walk away. So I like to keep them on a little magnetic plate so that they stay right where I know where they are. Okay, so we have 3 leaves. Aren't they gorgeous? See how much depth that added and how it looks like it's actually 2 different colors there? I love that. Okay, so now we have our little bow, and here's our bow in here. So I'm going to our ribbon. I'm going to start with our Mossy Meadow piece of cardstock and decide which pieces I wanted. I think I'll go this way. I should let the ladies who won last week decide which kind of paper they want on there. So I'm going to put this down at the bottom of the paper. And this again is our designer series paper, and I'll tell you, I have to admit, I hate using it. Number 1, because it's so gorgeous. And number 2, I can never decide, wow, this piece of paper is, what side I want it on. So we're just going to line that up there, get it straight, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to add a little bit of tape in here. And I'm going to tape this. Isn't this a gorgeous ribbon? Comes in a 2-pack, and there's some twine in it that is that Cajun Craze. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely love it. So I'm just going to put that right in the middle of the cardstock there. So it covers up where those 2 pieces meet. Adhere it on the back, and then I'm going to put the whole thing down on my cardstock base. Here we go. So this is just going to get stuck to my cardstock base here. Okay, and then I am going to pop my sentiment up on some dimensionals. I love dimensionals. They give us so much added height and dimension to your card. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals. I use every bit of my dimensionals, so these are some that were around the borders of it that I just trimmed up. So we'll use those pieces too. Don't want to be wasteful at all. Just going to center that in there. Like that. Okay. So then I'm going to do, I think, one big rust color leaf up here. Oh, let's maybe do. There we go. And you can put these on any way you like. There's no rhyme or reason or right or wrong. I'm just going to do these two together. And I'm going to adhere them right to my sentiment. And then I'm going to take a little glue dot. And I already have my twine all tied in a bow for my customers because some of them, it's not relaxing to try and tie a bow. We don't want them stressed at class. Stamping should be fun and very relaxing. So I try to do anything that I know would help them out. And I do have the best customers, just so you know, and they're very appreciative. So I'm going to put that right there. And then my big leaf, I'm going to flip down here towards the bottom. How about that? Quick and easy. You could put a Thanksgiving sentiment in there. You could put just a falling leaf sentiment in there, girlfriend sentiment, whatever you wanted in there. So another quick and easy one. Usually because when you come to class, you're doing 2 of each card. I try and keep them quick and easy. So again, you're not overwhelmed by everything. Sometimes the thought of doing 8 cards in 2 hours is a little overwhelming in and of itself. So we try not to do that too much. All right, this one is just to gather together. This makes a great Thanksgiving card, but you could use it for a lot of different things too. Again, you could put a girlfriend sentiment in there, happy Thanksgiving, whatever you wanted. And again, we're using the Gather Together stamp set and some more of the framelits that go with it. So here's your envelope full of goodies. I love those envelopes full of goodies. Okay. And then we have our dimensionals. And so I think that's all we're using that one for. So I'm going to put that one over there. And we have lots of stamps in here. So let's dig these babies out. And we need our Mary Merlot for this one too. So what we're going to do is these 2 pieces go on top of each other. And then they're going to go on top of, let me get some of this mess out of the way here, on top of our card. So what I'm going to do is start by just taping this piece down. And again, this is one where you could actually use this side of your Designer Series paper and it would still look very, very nice. With Designer Series paper, you can do just about anything with. So I'm going to layer these 2 pieces together. And then I'm going to set them aside while I do some stamping. So I'm going to stamp my Gather Together sentiment down at the bottom of my card. And again, I put out Season of Thanks for them and Gather Together. And these again are the photopolymers, so you can see exactly what you're going to stamp and where you're going to stamp it. So I'm going to put it right there. at the bottom of my card. And then I'm going to take this kind of a fern or wheat, I guess it looks like a wheat shaft as opposed to a fern. Okay, so I'm going to put that right at the bottom here. And then I want it to come out the top. So what I'm going to do is put it at the top, and then I'm just going to pick it up and move it over a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp off with it, re-ink it and stamp off and move it that way. So you can see I have the different generations of the stamp. So it's going to go light and dark, which will help to give it a little more dimension also. And then I'm going to close up my ink pad and put her away so that I do not set my hand all over it. So now we're going to make some pumpkins and a leaf. So I'm going to use my basic gray just because it's not as harsh as my black ink pad. So I'm going to stamp this big leaf. We'll get this out of the way. And they have these great little pumpkins that are kind of mushed together, sitting one on top of the other, it looks like, and then a great big pumpkin. So I'm going to stamp all of those in the gray. And again, close up this ink pad so I do not put my big hands all over in it, or my clothes. And I think we're done with this basket. And so I'm just going to move it out of the way over here and bring in my big shot. Okay, so my big shot, again, I have the magnetic plate on it, and these are some more of the framelits. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have just an easel that I use with a magnetic plate on the top of it. And that keeps all of my framelits together. And I can put it right by my big shot so that you can easily get them and return them. I am going to do another ride along, as few passes as I have to put through here. The better, the fewer the better in my case here. So I'm just going to line these up with my stamped images. Can you see that green one there? Okay, so I'm just going to line my framelit up right on top of my stamped image. And again, because it's magnetic, it's going to hold my framelits right on top of my images in place. I'm going to put my second clear plate on top, and I'm going to run it through my big shot. Let this big shot do all that work for me. Okay. And we'll get her back out of the way. And then I'm just going to punch my images out. And you can always give it 2 passes through if you're having a hard time getting your images to pop out. Or you can add a little shim also as an option. Okay, so I have my 2 pumpkins, my big pumpkin, and my leaf. So I'm going to tape this piece. Remember that Designer Series paper piece that we did? I'm going to tape that right to the front of my card. So I'm going to go like that so you can see both pieces of the wheat shaft that we stamped on there. And I am going to put my leaf, I'm going to adhere it right to my cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and raise my pumpkins a little bit. So I'll put my pumpkins on dimensionals. And again, I have those kind of big pieces that were right at the edge of my dimensional piece of paper. So I'm going to put that on there and do the same thing for this one. And I'll put my big pumpkin on first. And I'm not really going to press it down until I decide that that's where I want it to go. So it's kind of just sitting there now so that I can see if I really like that placement. And I want to come over here a little bit more, I think. I think I like that a little bit better. And then down. So then I'm just gonna kind of smush them in there. And there we go. How about that? All right, and now we are down to our Halloween card. And this one was, I used this stamp here from the Tags stamp set. And this originally started out as a card from our retreat last weekend, but I needed a Halloween card. So we were originally using this piece of paper, which I really, really liked, but I wanted to turn mine into a Halloween card so I could use it for my class. So I made a few adjustments to it. And all of my pieces are out now. And I'm going to, here's my trusty little goodie basket. I'm going to take my stamp set and do my stamping first. So you can really use any of these. I guess I won't know which one I want to use yet. You can use any of these sentiments. The one I used here has, it says, "Boo from me to you." But I think I've inked them all, so you can see they're all Halloween sentiments on this one. And there is a framelit that will cut all three of them out. But I think I'm going to use Sending a Halloween Hello. So I'm just going to stamp that onto my little script piece of cardstock here. And I'll set that aside for a minute while I bring in, take my snips out of there, and I can move that basket. I'm going to bring in my Big Shot again. And this time, I'm going to get rid of my magnetic plate because I'm going to use an embossing folder. So I'm going to get my Big Shot platform. And this is what your Big Shot platform looks like. It says Big Shot platform right there. So I'm going to put that in. I'm going to put a clear plate on top of it. And then I'm going to take this pumpkin pie piece of cardstock and I'm going to put it in the Eyelet Lace embossing folder. It has all those great little pockets to it. And always when you're embossing, this edge goes in first. So your hinged edge, there you go. Your hinged edge is going to go into the machine first. And then I'm going to put a clear plate on top of it and run it through the Big Shot. And this one, you can always make a decision to use whichever side of the embossed piece of paper that you want, the embossed piece of cardstock. So you kind of have to decide which piece appeals more to you. So this one, it's kind of sticking out a little bit, and this one is kind of sunken in. On the card I did before, I left the sticking outside, which is the embossed side, out. So this one will leave the debossed side out. Just going to put adhesive on it and then adhere it to my cardstock. And because I don't have the framelit to cut this out, I am going to just trim around it. And that's, you could buy the bundle and save some money, but I think that these images are big enough that I can easily trim around them without making myself all harried and stressed. So I decided to buy a different stamp set, as opposed to purchasing this in the bundle, which is always an option. A lot of my customers like to do the framelits instead of the stamps. I normally prefer them both together because it makes things super, super easy, and I do like super, super easy. That means I can spend more time crafting and less time trying to figure out what goes with each other and how it's going to line up and where my scissors are and all that good stuff. Okay, so we're just going to quickly turn around this piece. And I am going to lift this one up with some dimensionals. Just pop it a little bit. And this makes a great quick and easy card. So I'm going to take my piece of Designer Series paper, adhere it to my white cardstock. And this one, there's only about 1/8 of an inch of trim around it. And then I have this little piece of black cardstock. And I'm going to put that right across there in the middle of this really scary DSP that has the eyeballs and a jar. And okay, and I'm just going to add some dimensionals to my image and pop it up. And then we'll mount it. I'm going to make my words, make sure they're going in the right direction there. And I am going to angle it just a little bit for some Halloween fun. You could put it down right in the middle like that. Since my other one's angled, I guess I'll do this one right in the middle. So this one you have going straight, and you have the debossed side showing for that. This one you have the embossed side showing, and it's at a little bit of a spooky angle for you. How's that? Okay, so those are the 4 cards we did at our Falling into Fall class. I'm going to turn you up here. Let me see if I can do this without flipping you all over the world. Gail's here, and Debbie's here. And Lori Luscombe and Lynn Schultz. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm glad that you tuned in. Okay, so next week, I'm going to be on vacation, so I'm not going to be here. My sister and my sister-in-law and I are going to be in Florida for a week, so I'm going to leave on Wednesday morning and actually be gone for almost 2 weeks. So I'm going to leave on Wednesday morning, and I won't be here next Monday, but I'll be missing you guys. So maybe we'll take a quick live of the beach that I'm laying at. But I'm excited to be spending some time with both of them. And I will see you the following Monday night. If you would leave me a comment, I would absolutely love to know how you like these cards and this class. And also on my business page, you can leave me a review. So if you'd like to go there and leave me a review and to tell everybody about all the things you like when you visit here and encourage them to come and visit also, I would really appreciate it. Hi, Madeline. Thanks. I am going to enjoy my trip. Thanks. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.